Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome, welcome. It's Saturday night. Satuy night. Remember that song, Laura?
Yeah.
To
Let's
go,
go. Yeah.
guys, go back, way back. Speaking of way back, if you don't know Laura and I go back since the beginning of time, since that Big Bang. That was us, just Laura and I talking to each other. Boom! And there it was. I have known Laura since, oh my gosh, since 1998, 97, 96, something like that.
You're like, yeah.
Very
Baby.
first Susan and Tom retreat.
Yeah.
That was crazy. And Laura has done, guys, there isn't anything Laura can do. I mean, she is so talented. Besides being a pharmacist, like a regular, like, scientific type person, she has created, you guys, these amazing Oracle deck, Sacred Attune Oracle. And they're absolutely beautiful. These are Laura's handwriting, by the way. And it's gorgeous. It is absolutely gorgeous. There's no big, thick, long book about how to do this and how to do that, and eat Cheerios before you sit down and ring the bell and do all that. It's it's this basic booklet, and it's there. I mean, that's it. Everything was really made with the Akashic Records.
Yeah, true.
We'll talk about those in a minute, but let's say hello to people, and then I got to check in.
Who's here?
So hello everybody. JS patiently waiting. Tap tap tap. All right, is that like Susie Snowflake? Tap tap tap. Right. Chris from Iowa. Hello. Ellen. Hello. Jean. Hello. Ren. Hello. Delora. She's here. Jody Scott. Hello, cousin Jody. Condi. So good to see you, my friend. And yay, my favorite deck. I know that it's such a great deck. And hello to everybody on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. We are now doing our guest lives on Saturday. And tonight's talk is all about transformation through the Akashic Records. So, Laura, can you tell people just a little bit about what the Akashic Records are while I check Instagram, make sure that we're on?
Sure. Well, the Akashic Records, think of it as, everything is energy. Everything is vibration. Everything is frequency. So the records hold and contain your frequency since your soul incarnated. So think of it kind of like, like a super Google thing, for vibration in your soul, and what it holds possibilities. It holds your past, present, and future, which now, like with the quantum, everything is one anyway. So anything that has ever been written about you or you wrote about yourself is held within your records.
I think that's so important. And people don't realize that the Akashic Records is also noted in the Bible as the book of life. Yes. And those of you that are on, sorry, the go live didn't hit on Instagram. So welcome, guys. My name is Elias Patras, and I am here with my amazing friend. And she is truly just, I'm going to say that you are a beacon of light in this world, my friend. You're a beacon of light. So thank you, Laura, for being here. And we'll just say hello to Self-Love Seeker. Love the name. Condi, hello. Jacob, good to see you. Kat, good to see you. Isabel, good to see you. Nicole, hello. And Fashionton, good to see you. And Java Jen, thank you for being on here. I know that once I hit the go live button, Laura, I don't know. It's like I press the buttons and I'm like, am I on? Am I not on? But we're on. So we're talking about the Akashic Records and how we can transform with the Akashic. So here's a fascinating question.
Yeah.
I'm doing a shameless plug, everybody. I am doing a past life class coming up in November. And let's say that there's something that was in the past life that we see as a repeated pattern. Can we go in the Akashic and change that vibration or change that past life outcome so it's different in how it reverberates and affects us now.
Yeah, you can actually all past lives are held within the Akashic Records.
Yes.
So that's one way. I mean, there's different ways of accessing, even like with past lives. There's different ways to access past lives. Um, yes, you can see patterns, or sometimes the past life that has the strongest energy that comes out, and maybe it's only one. It doesn't have to be even a pattern. Um, yeah, like one of my past lives. I love past lives. And one of my past lives was, and I'll usually tell the story in class. So we will go in and we'll do a past life regression when I am in my Akashic record class. So one of them was I was female in that lifetime. I was the one of the elder daughters of like 4 or 5, and this was like in Persia, how we see Persia, Mesopotamia, and it was that Silk Road, how the spice. I mean, this is going back like BC, going back, and how they would go. They would bring the spices from India and come down, and well. Back then, my father at the time was a merchant, but I knew exactly which silks to buy from which merchants. And so so the story just keeps on going and going and going. And I'm like, well, that was very nice. But what happened was when I sat with this, I realized that was my affinity to making my silk scarves. I'll do silk painting on my silk scarves. Yeah. And it wasn't like huge, like matter of fact, I have shameless plug, but this is like one of my, I was working with, where's my view? Working with flowers and prints and how to do, and then it was like the big aha. So I brought all of those positive, that vibration, that frequency that I was so familiar with into my work.
Do you think, Laura, that's why your tactile stuff that you do, please hold everybody, the tactile stuff that you do and all the cool stuff that you do, is that why you think that maybe possibly from a past life you have done it before? Because let me empty this out so I don't tip it over, because I've got some stuff in there. You guys, Laura made this. Okay, everyone, shut up. Laura made this. I mean, she gifted this to me back in, oh my God, what is that? No, 2003.
Oh, wow.
2000 and look at that.
Yeah. Oh, that's oak. Yeah.
Oh. She made this, you guys, and it's not like she like I don't know how the hell she did it. It's not like she made this. It's a beautiful bowl. I have it on my meditation cloth. I also keep this really cool piece in there, and then I've got something that came from that was on a condor feather, and this fell off it, so it's on there, and I keep a little bit of Palo Santo, so it's in here, and it's just a great reminder. So I think that, like you said, those techniques come through.
And that's true, because I love working with the wood. Now that piece is wood. I mean, I've turned wood. I mean, elm, maple, oak, osage. I mean, you name it. I've turned these different cherry, these different pieces of wood, and I knew exactly what they wanted to be, because all you do is you see this big chunk, big log or something, and it's like, okay, who wants to be, wood turned, like now. So it was, and then when I would sit back and think about it, and sometimes you don't have to go all the way into a formal, past life. Once that gets into your system, like your cellular system, you start getting the ahas. And I'm like, oh, that's when I was like, this old woman herbalist living in, whatever, like the Druid times, and all
Right.
the woods, all the trees talk. And even now, I don't, I'm surrounded by, in my space, my home, I have all these different trees. I mean, I just love it.
And
So
that's fascinating
so
too.
that's how the past life things are going to, and that's all about transformation. It's like
Right.
transforming what was from the past into the future or
And
present.
could you think, I'm about to make a joke, everybody. That's why I'm giggling, but I'm being serious at the same time. Could you, and guys, I see you're asking some questions, so we'll
Oh,
get to that in a second. Um, do you think like something that was not seen proper in this past life through the Akashic, that we can shift it, and also in this life coming through, that it would be um okay, I'll just say it. I was a hooker, everybody, in a past life. Wonder what that taught me. I was a hooker in a different kinds of talents, people. I was a hooker in the past. I was good with money. No, just kidding. So past life in a hooker, do you think that is why I could be a little bit more prudish in this life,
mhm.
which is fascinating? I know all the hooker jokes are going to come through right now. I get it. I've been there. I've done it. I've been a hooker a couple times. I've been burnt at the stake. I've done it all. Don't say hooker. I just did say hooker. Hooker. Or would you like me to say prostitute? Or would you like to have me say a lady of the evening? Uh, so, London, I was there, guys, 1800s.
Yeah.
Um, Sir E. Sir E. Oh, Sirless. I believe that. I know. Me too. Real
But
quick.
see, here's the thing too with past lives. People are really, most of the time when you go into a past life, you were a normal person. Nobody was, like Nefertiti, Queen Nefertiti,
Right.
or I mean,
Exactly.
very few people are like, oh, I was Mary Magdalene. Nah, not really. You might have been in that energy, but you're, hey, I'm telling it like it is. But and that's how, just normal, just everyday everyday living. That's, one person swore she was she was with like Napoleon or Caesar or something like that.
I
Found out.
believe
We go
nothing.
into her we go into the records, we go into past lives. She was a barmaid. Like his body barmaid in that lifetime, whatever it looked like back then.
And you guys, Laura tells it like it is. So, I mean, I can listen to Laura tell stories upon stories. And I remember somebody in one of our groups long time ago, they're like, oh, yes, I was, I was so and so. And Laura's like, oh. And she looks at me, she's like, oh, cracks me up. All right, we've got some questions. So hang on one second. Have you smiled yet? What a great name. Thank you for joining. Nicole says, I may think I'm a newbie. It's all good. Siobhan's Uga or Siobhan Suga, hello. And AZD, hello. Thank you for joining. So Nathan has a question here.
There we go.
And dun 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 dun. Okay, so we'll go here. How can I learn about? I'm sure that's when. How can I learn more about my Akashic records? So,
Well, yeah, there's a lot on. I mean, there's tons of stuff, on Google, you can go to my website, Little Aspen Studios. I have information there. I'm going to be teaching a class in November, how to open up your own records, and you can read for others as well. But it's interesting because now the Akashic records are becoming more and more accessible. Like 20 years ago, it was a pretty tight knit community, wouldn't you say, like a tight knit community? Only people can do it, and you had to go through this,
Laura and I both did it, you guys. We
8-week training. You had to go through, you had to submit 30 record, that whatever. But it's this quickening is starting to happen.
Yes. We got a couple more. Let's see. Regina says, I was an entrepreneur even back then.
Yeah.
You're cute. You're cute, Regina. Elias was Mary Magdalene. You're hysterical. Can phobias be a result from past life?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. If you guys read Many Lives, Many Masters,
Yes. Yeah.
a book that we're going to talk about in the past life class that I'm doing in November, that is something that you'll find it's fascinating. Dr. Brian Weiss is the person that brought past life through it. But
Yeah.
what we're talking about, yes, we're talking about past lives through the Akashic Records, but the Akashic Records will help you guys transform all this stuff that we can do in this life by
Yeah.
getting. So Laura teaches the records. She obviously does the records. You go to littleaspenstudios.com, you can get all that information. This is, can we have cords attached from past life people that cross our path?
Mhm.
That's a great question too. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
You can
And
have cords, you can have attachments. Yeah. There's a, and a lot from present day too. So
do you ever go, this is a question from Nicole. Do you ever come across people that don't have a past life, or when you open up the records, it's like click, 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 nothing? I mean,
very few times.
mhm.
I know one person in particular that was in one of my groups where we were doing a regression, past life regression, and she, she goes, "I'm not getting anything. I'm not getting anything." So and we there's ways to work around that. So we kind of worked around that, but she wasn't ready. So
Mm,
she was like stonewalled. She could not get past her fear.
interesting.
So that's usually a lot of what happens. But then it starts, then there's different techniques and ways to go into the records or into the past lives.
Now, I know you and I, through the shamanic stuff, we've done cord cutting and what have you. Um, how do we remove the cords? Can cords be removed through the Akashic Records?
Yes, I was going to energetically, yes, they can.
Okay.
Because again, this is all having to do with vibration and frequency.
And here's the thing I want to tell you. Um, oh gosh, I'm going to pronounce your name wrong. Um, T- Tiani, Tiny, Ti- pardon me, just phonetically, so I
Mhm.
don't screw it up. Put it in the comments. So what I'm going to say to you is that think about this. You don't need someone to cut cords for you. We do it on a retreat. Laura does it. Laura does it through the Akashic Records. You can cut your own cords. All this stuff, everybody, all this stuff. That's why Laura and I teach it, because we want to teach you stuff on how to really empower you. It's not like, all the psychic mediums that are out there and everything. We want you to be able to do the work for self. That's the thing. Yes, you need practice, but you should be wanting to do this work for you.
Right.
And it means a lot more when you do it.
Yeah.
Even though, like, I'll tell you guys, when Laura and I used to do this in the shamanic work, you have a word maybe that you find in meditation. We lead you through a meditation. You go up to the fire, you scream this word out, and we cut the cord. Yes, we are cutting the cord, but you're doing the work. It's your word. You're sensing where it's attached in your chakra system. You're doing the work. Like the Akashic Records, you are setting the intention of what you want to do. And that's really important.
Yeah.
Really, really important. Would you agree, Laura?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, TN. TN. Thank you.
TN. Okay.
Okay. And thank you, Delara, for putting this up there. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
Hey, Rose, fellow Chicagoan. Hello, hello, hello. Okay. Nicole says, I've had such bad anxiety all the time. I always wonder where it would come from. That could be a lot of stuff. Think about what's happening in utero. And Laura, we can go into the Akasha Records in utero too,
Oh, sure.
correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's fascinating stuff, guys. And this is the part that we're talking about transformation. And Nicole, I'm going to show you something. This is called an Amazonite.
Oh,
And the Amazonite is really good for anxiety and good for fears. Sometimes I carry it on the plane. But this is really good to have. And I would, wherever you buy it from, I would just put it in. You could put it in the
mhm,
sunlight, you could put it in the moonlight. I like to put mine in sea
mhm,
salt, no water, sea salt, and then take it out 24 hours later. So just
yeah,
enough.
yeah.
Tia says, thank you. I can't wait to learn and do this work. I'll be looking into your November session. Great. And guys, little promo. If you, I can't show it to you because I have the author copy, but if the first 10 people that sign up for the past life class will get a copy of my new book, Changing the FU to Thank You, How to Flip the Script and See the Gift. And speaking of gift, Laura, I just want to, while we've got everybody on here,
Yeah.
Delora, can you put Laura's free gift here? Guys, Laura is doing a free workshop,
Mhm.
a free workshop. And little newsflash, Laura and I are working on, we're crossing our fingers, we're working on me coming to Colorado and we're going to do some sort of something, something. So I'll keep you guys posted. Hey, Chris. Thanks, Michelle. Jacob says, is it possible for certain parts of the Akashic Records to be closed until a certain time when we're ready?
Yes. The
Mm,
the energy of the Akashic Records meets you at that point where you can receive. So they're not going to tell you, oh, like this, and like this big, huge thing is going to happen. It'll give you little bites, and then or sometimes they give you, sometimes I just call it homework.
okay.
You got to get through this stuff, and then they'll give you more. So they meet you at your energetic level. So if you're down, if they're up here, it'll equal out.
There's this, and then Delora, I sent you the smaller version, the bit
Yeah.
version. There's a Laura gave me one. Check your Facebook Messenger. It's on that one.
Yeah.
So here's a question, just curious. When you're doing your pharmacy job, do you ever get a download? Like, even though you close the records, I always like to say this, guys, even though they're closed, it's like this much is open. Like, really, that much is open. And it's like tap, tap, tap. Did you ever get
No, because what happens with, because people say, "Oh, I opened up my records and I fell asleep." Like what happens? The records are very self-correcting. They're gonna close.
okay?
They're going. But what happens when you start working in the Akashic Records? The intuition field is also held within the
Okay.
records. So the more you start working in the records, your intuition gets heightened. So things start like, oh no, yep, nope, nope, yep, nope, 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 nope. Get out,
That's
get out of my
when
way. No,
when I
yeah,
did the records, Laura, that's when, remember the angelic channeling that I do?
yeah,
That's when that started happening.
yeah.
And it freaked me out because I'm like, is this the Akasha Records? Or is this like a
Mhm.
whole, and I got a whole different dialogue. I was like, all right, that's why I always felt like it was open like that much. Cause I always felt like I always heard, like in the records, I always heard like harp, or I heard like like, it's like, "Ba-ding," I always heard that noise, or
Yeah,
I felt it. And
yeah.
that's what it felt like. It was odd.
It was,
Odd.
this is how I kind of look at it, because it starts getting kind of complicated. Like, well, what's here and what's there
Yeah,
and what's like low hanging fruit, and you can grab this and that, and it's like, you remember, like when you're little, you had those bubbles, you go,
yeah, 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 yeah.
and then the bubbles. Sometimes you get this big cluster of bubbles,
Right.
like you can see through one bubble to get to the other bubble. That's
Yes.
what it's almost like. It's like, oh, well, this is one of the bubbles. This is one of the bubbles. And then all of a sudden one breaks off. So it's again, this energy, this frequency, it's this like this vibration. It's all there. So you just, get out of your own way, and the information comes down and comes
Right.
through.
And yes, Carrie, it is fascinating. And I love that you said your soul tapestry. That's really a beautiful way of looking at it because, for me, because we all read the records differently, guys.
Mhm.
It's even though we learn it the same, we all get, they use our information that's comfortable for us. It's funny back in the day, like we were when we were look at that, when I was younger. You're funny. When I was younger, Delora, when Laura and I were young, like we couldn't close our eyes during the when you
Right.
read the
That's how we were taught. Yeah.
like, oh my god. So I'm sitting there going, okay, you're right. And
There's
one
there
time,
are rules.
right,
Yeah.
it was rules. And what I did, I can't believe I'm going to tell this on a lot. So what I did, so I was so nervous when I was doing the records because I'm like, oh, because I sometimes close my eyes and I see more, right? I can stare out because of the records. I can stare at a wall and see stuff. That's easy for me now. Like I could zone out and see. I would go like this, Laura, and then I would put it on my eyelids. So when I blinked, it was like dick, dick, dick.
Yeah, we had a lot of rules back then.
Crazy,
Now, yeah.
crazy. Laura said blowing bubbles when we were younger. I did it 2 days ago. Oh, I get it. I get it. You're cute. And again, guys, this is Laura's free class, littleaspenstudios.com/remembering hyphen our hyphen stories. So there you go. Look at
And that's
everybody.
part of the transformation because people are like, even you can, well, what's going to happen is I'm going to open up the Akashic Records for the group. And if someone else who, opens up their own records, they can certainly open up their record too. And that's part of this whole like transformation for like this whole month. Because people are like, well, they have all these stories held within them. I mean, and these stories, it's energy of expression. It's almost like one of the universal laws. And they need to be seen, they need to be heard, they need to be acknowledged and witnessed. And this is, but then people are like, oh yeah, I know we're supposed to, do this. How do I start? How do I do this? And it's not like you're going to, write a novel or whatever. No, we're, hey, if we can write one paragraph, two paragraphs, but and we're going to go through different techniques because everybody is different. I was, I have a very hardcore science background, math and science background. So what did I write? I wrote experiments. I wrote scientific papers. I mean, so it was kind of like data. So when I was trying to write a little bit more creatively, and I gave one of my stories, to a friend who's an author as well. And she said it very nicely. She said, well, you're a very good technical writer, but that wasn't my intention. I wanted, and I got deflated. I'm like, well, that wasn't my intention at all.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I started digging into different writing styles, how, not shortcuts, but just prompts and how we can do this and different ways to get into this. And, if people want to share, they can certainly share. And if they don't want to share, that's fine too. But at least it gives them a path to start following.
Which is important. And Laura, you're teaching a class coming up, aren't you? Akashic Record class?
Yeah, it's going to be the first weekend first Saturday in November, like November 3rd.
Saturday in November. Okay. And guys, it doesn't mean that it's going to conflict because I try not to conflict. So mine is on Wednesday. Oh, Wednesday, right? Yeah. Mine is on, I think, whatever November, when is it, Delora? November 6th? November 6th, whatever November 6th is.
Yeah.
Do you open the records with meditation? That's a good question. We'll get to that in a second. So my class is coming up and I'll show you what Delora made a PDF and I have to put it up there, but that takes me a moment. Should I tell on myself? I write my color classes after opening my records. I think, that's great because I did the same thing with my workshops when I first started. I open up the records and I write it. Hopefully this is easier. That is hysterical. That is hysterical.
Maybe this is coming back from a past life.
It's probably we're hookers together, Carrie. We were hookers together. That's what it is. Um, I'll be on the retreat the first weekend in November. Do you have another class this year?
Oh, probably not. November's kind of funny just because of.
Is it recorded, Laura?
Yeah, it's all recorded. Yeah.
If she missed the first one, she could still do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go, Chris.
So.
Thanks to Laura. The 6th, 13th, and the 20th. So that was hysterical, Carrie. That was hysterical. Like, yes, okay, I know. I have a question from Fashionton. Do you open the records with meditation?
I was taught, and I've worked with probably 4 of my key teachers. We open with a sacred prayer. People, and we learn all of this in class too. Some people can open up their records with the meditation. It's up to them. You kind of have to. It's a pretty high vibration. Like for the meditation, it can be done. Some people, everybody's just different too.
Right. It all depends, guys, because again, everybody has different energy, if you will.
Yeah.
Different energy. And but I have to tell you, like I know you're gonna agree, but it's each piece that you learn shifts you. It totally shifts everything that you might even like have a lot of ahas. And for me, I know that first class, I had to really like process a lot. It was fascinating though. It was absolutely fascinating. Oh gosh, I just pressed the wrong button. Hang on one second. There you are, Laura. I was like, where are you? Okay, I found it. Amanda says, sorry, I'm really tired. Did I miss my question? Oh, where's your question? Hang on. Amanda, let's see. Oh, does one's life's purpose remain the same throughout past lives until he or she levels up? Great question.
I would say there's different facets to everybody's life purpose. So, and people say, oh, what am I here for? What's my life purpose? I have no idea. And the records are not going to tell me, you know your life's purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we start to excavate and start finding out why are you here? Who are you? Who are you? The relationships of people, careers, some people are job hoppers. Some people stay at the same job for, 30 years and then they retire. So all of this has to do with one's life purpose.
Mm-hmm. And the shifts that come through the ahas, through all this stuff, it's like we're doing, I don't want to say like we're jumping through hoops, but we're constantly learning and progressing forward. Some days it's 7-10 steps forward, sometimes an inch. And it might feel like, oh, I feel like I went back. No, you're still going, but you're so used to doing these big hops that you're not seeing it as such. So it's very fascinating. Learning these records have been so good. It didn't show on the question. It just, So it's such an amazing class. Yes, because Michelle and Delora and Joy all have taken your class.
Laura,
Thank you. I have a hard time meditating, says Nicole. Nicole, I got a cure for that one. Trust me, I got a cure for that. Washington, I know it's you, Eleni, but I don't want to ever say someone's name unless they tell me it's okay. So Eleni's watching Fashionton, Eleni on Instagram. She's watching in Greece. So it's quite early in the morning, girl. It's quite early in the morning. So we have to have patience. You're hysterical. Yes. We have to have patience. Um, okay. Hi, Laura. Michelle. Um, so does anybody have any questions about Akashic Records and how we shift to transform? Because that's what we're here, guys. We want to constantly move. So when we do come back, we've got to jump on things. Jump on things. And sometimes we come back. This is a fascinating thing. We don't always come back for ourselves.
Right. Yeah.
Sometimes what we do in our job might be like, well, why the hell did I choose this? You didn't choose it for you. You
Yeah.
chose it for the people that are around you
Yeah.
and the people that you're
And you never know what that is. You never know. Now, like for me personally, I studied a long time with Linda Howe, who is one of the premier Akashic record teachers. And when we were in the records, I was born and raised in Chicago. Here I moved out to Colorado, and we were in the records. And the question, we're going in, and I was kind of stuck for a while, so we were trying to get unstuck. We're kind of going through all of this, and I forgot how this came about, but she said, well, one of the reasons that you're moving to Colorado is to bring the Akashic records to Colorado and kind of like in opening up to, I'll say like the field, but like to open it up. And back then, like there was nothing, everything was oral, oral history and everything like that. Well, I was like, well, this is a lot of responsibility. Like I didn't, and I'm like, what happens if I fail? What happens if I don't do this?
Right.
Whatever.
Right.
Long story short, through one of my classes, one of my participants in the class worked for Sounds True. I get this call from Linda Howe saying, hey, who do you know what Sounds True? I go, I don't know anybody. It Sounds True. Who it Sounds True is like 20 minutes from my house. And so I get this call and they want to know if I want to write a book on the Akashic Records and do, blah, 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 and do the videos and do audio books and stuff like that. They got there because I was there. It wasn't like, so I was a conduit. I was like the transmitter, but, so you never know what was that part of my life purpose. Yeah, sure it was. But if all of a sudden the big booming voice is, Laura, you must, help Linda Howe and Linda Howe now has, books and books and, thousands. She's, taught all over the world. And that was her entree into bringing the records to the masses.
And here's something to mention, guys.
And that's like, even like one of my superpowers is when I'm at the grocery store, I go and help those little old ladies that can't reach up on the very top shelf. I'm 5'7", almost 5'8". I go, can I get that for you? Oh, can you? I go, yeah, let me grab a can. I go, let me check the expiration date first. And then I get so was that a karmic thing? Was that just part of my life purpose? You don't know.
And Laura brings a really good point up, guys, because what I learned from John Holland is, listen to this, guys. So Carrie says, I'm 46, never married, never married, caring for my terminally ill father. He helped to walk me down the aisle. Sadly, I'm a mess and not sure what my purpose is outside of my family. So here's what I want you to think about. There's a difference, and think about this, you guys. There's a difference between life purpose and soul purpose. Mm-hmm. Your life purpose is what you step in each and every day. Today's purpose could be you are helping that person in the grocery store. You're helping that person across the street. You are giving great information or teaching something to somebody. But your soul purpose can be something completely different. I know that my life purpose is, it's part of teaching. It's part of what I do. My soul purpose is like Laura. It's connecting. Yeah. I am a connector. I love to connect people. And why is it in my website, Connect, Educate, and Grow? Because those are I feel, part of the soul purpose. It's what I came here. It's like, I know this one. I know this one. Let me get you this. And I mean,
Yeah.
Laura's known me for a long time. It's
Yeah.
what I've been doing all this time. And
Yeah.
I never realized it. I'm like, well, that can't be my soul purpose. But that's kind of a thing. It's really fascinating. So, Carrie, don't think of, you're not a mess. You are doing exactly what
That's
you're
what
supposed to
you're
be
supposed
doing.
to.
But now take it a step further and say, how can I be doing my purpose here with family and also be caring for myself and moving forward? Really, really important, Carrie. Really, really important.
Yeah.
Jacob has a question and Eleni has a question. Eleni says, so we can be changing purpose from life to life. Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. And
Uh,
sometimes like people will say, like, or they people ask a lot of times like about relationships, like because that's usually a big thing. And sometimes like, yeah, you guys have a past life, but this lifetime, you guys are, together, you guys, found each other. And it's like a pizza and a movie lifetime. Nah, yeah, let's get together. Not a big thing, no big drawn out karma and people, you hear people like getting married, divorced, they marry the same person again, like to work out all this stuff. I call it like a pizza and a movie lifetime together,
yeah.
so you don't know. You just, you go with it.
Jacob says, what is a good way to explain the Akashic Records to somebody who's never heard of them? I'll tell you my answer, Jacob, and then I'm sure Laura will tell you a better answer. You're in danger, girl. That's all you have to do is, ooh, you're in danger, girl. Just quote Whoopi Goldberg from Ghost. You're in danger, girl. Uh, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. How would you explain the Akashic Records to someone, Laura?
I would say it's almost like an energetic superhighway. You know, it's like you can get off the elevator and all of a sudden there's this computer, whatever, you start typing in what, blah, 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 blah. And then it can, how everything can kind of come up, and then you can go down this pathway. You can go down this pathway. That's why, like, where you could, because it's the inception of your soul. It has all of that information. So I always tell people, usually when I do a reading, I ask them to come up with like 5 questions. Sometimes we get to them, sometimes we don't. And it's always the question that has the most energy behind it is what comes through.
I'll tell you this, you guys. So Laura was so kind, and she gave me a Akashic record reading. And here's the thing: she did not know that I was debating moving from Illinois to the Pacific Northwest. And we opened up the record. She goes, "Elias, first thing I want to tell you is, I see you moving to the Pacific Northwest, like Oregon, Eugene, Oregon." And I was like, "What?" And obviously I live in Washington, but Oregon was on the list because they're like right next door to each other. But Laura didn't know. That wasn't anything that I shared with her. And boom. I mean, I already had the pieces in emotion, but my heart was telling me go, and my brain is saying, what the hell are you doing? And the Akashic Records help so much with that. I mean, yes, could I read my Akashic Records? I can, but because I am who I am, I'm going to be like, well, I don't know. Did I, am I pulling that out
Yeah.
somewhere out of, where? And I'm like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
But it was very, very affirming. It was
Yeah.
very affirming. It was really good. And the records are not going to tell you, you're going to go there because you need, I mean, it's not like you're going there because you're going to meet the love of your life and blah, blah. I will tell you, I knew that I had to leave Illinois to meet the one. I knew it. I knew that I would meet somebody or meet the one in Washington. And I didn't know when or how, but I just I know that I'm going to move there, and that's when I'm going to get married for real. Well, I shouldn't say for real, but married to the one, uh, and the best one. So there you have it. Carrie says, I'm going to be a hooker and homeless after he passes. Girl, we'll take up a fun, girl. We'll call it like homeless hookers. Homeless hookers fun. I'm kidding. I'm teasing. So Laura says pizza in a movie is high dog these days.
That's true. That's very true. Yeah.
and Jacob, yes, I love that. Thank you. You're welcome.
Yeah.
And you know, if you're talking to somebody who's a little bit more nervous or a little bit more Christian based, they're like, oh, I don't know. You can always, like I started off with, guys, always say that the Akashic record is referred to in the Bible.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're kitty.
Yeah,
Kitty.
I know.
You helped me out in Illinois as well, Ice. This is Alan C. Oh, yes. You live in Arizona now. Wow. That's awesome. That's awesome. So cute. And Laura is so good with animals, you guys. Really, truly, truly, truly good. So,
That sounds like a bumper sticker there.
oh, where was this answer on the retreat when we were playing this game? Laura, there's a great game that you got to do with your family. It's like this round thing. And you have to, like, there's a card that comes up and it says favorite pastimes or favorite names or boys' names with the letter A or boys' names, and it has the whole alphabet. And you have to like name a name and then hit the buzzer, name the name and hit the buzzer. It's hysterical. It was Amanda and Delora and I and Kathy, she's on here, a bunch of us. We were peeing in our pants. It was so much fun. Strippers for Jesus. I love that. Okay. Illinois is not that bad. No, it's not that
No,
bad. No, it's not at all. I mean, we're former Illinoisans. Okay, so
oh my gosh.
Laura, we're like, I can't believe how quick this goes.
I know.
So tell everybody again, your class for Akashic Record is coming up in November.
It's coming up in November. Actually, I have not set the date. Maybe I will. I can't push it back. And it's only one day. It's only one day.
Oh, it's a one-day class.
It's a one-day class. So sometimes people can't make half day, but it's recorded and everybody gets the
okay
and everything. And you get a workbook. You'll get a workbook for this too.
How long is the class, Laura?
It's usually about 7 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
7 hours. Okay.
But it's like we'll break for lunch. For lunch.
That's good. And is it kind of like I know, but I'm asking. Is it kind of like Reiki where it's like level 1 and then there's level 2 and there's a level 3?
No, I don't do that because I don't do that. So in this class, what we're going to do is you will be able to open your own records, and then you can also open the records of others.
Fascinating.
In the same class, yeah.
And Laura, is it still, because I've been out of the rules for a moment, is it still like they have to ask you for an Akashic record? You can't just say, hey, I want to read your records.
Yes, you never go up to, it's always. Now, sometimes people will want to give somebody
sure.
A reading, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't work. But usually the people that I know that has said, my friend really can use help with this. And I just had that a little while ago. And it was, it was really good. Very helpful for her.
And guys, Ren, it is always just like you always want to get permission because you are tapping into
your soul
heart, right? It's the soul connection. So you really want to be careful. You're from Canada. I love that you're from Canada. And again, here's Laura's website, Little Aspen Studios, plural.com. Hey, Carla, good to see you sneak in here. And what is mentioned in the Bible? Oh, Eleni, the Akashic records are mentioned in the Bible, the book of life. It's mentioned in the Bible.
Yeah.
So help me out of Illinois. I want to go to Tennessee, but not in the floods, please. All right, see yourself going there. See yourself going there and imagine what it would feel like going there.
Yeah.
Okay, so guys, definitely please go follow Laura. She's got a free a little free workshop for you guys too. We'll put it back up here in a second. Let me go scroll back up. And if I missed your comment, please know it wasn't deliberate. Sometimes I don't always get the comment. So here it is right here. Oopsie. What happened? There you go.
There you go.
So littleaspenstudios.com/remember-r-stories. And Laura, you know you're always welcome back. Always, always. And guys, if you want, again, these cards are just amazing. Amazing. Can I spill the beans, Laura?
Sure.
And Laura's got another deck coming up, guys. She's got another deck coming up, but these are great. Just amazing. I mean, look at this courage. Have the courage to play big and follow your heart. You're not born to play small. Try a new perspective to grow and change intentionally. Interesting that I picked that one for everyone. So I'm so excited. I cannot wait till your new cards come out.
Yeah.
And they're beautiful, guys. They really are. Really beautiful. Sacred Attunement. These are on the website, right?
Yeah, it's on the website. Yeah.
They're on the website. And I'm so excited about it. So excited about it. Let's see. What do we got coming up? What we got coming up is, where did my thing go? Oh, there it is. Next week, Laura, and everybody else, we have Susan Owens. That's Susan with a Z. Owens. She's going to talk about transformations for 2025. She is a numerologist and a psychic medium. And here it is. Okay. Wisdoms of Numerology by Susan Owens. It's a great book. This is really, truly, it explains so much. And she's just a beautiful person. She's actually going to be on the cruise ship with me in December. So she'll be joining us next Saturday. The following Saturday, we have mystery guests. Mystery guest, or it could be guests. You'll have to come and see, and that's on October 6th. We are on retreat November 1st through the 3rd. There's a couple spots left. Come join us in Mechanicsville, Iowa. Why Iowa? Because we're from the Midwest. So come to Iowa. I'm flying in, guys, from Washington State. So come to Iowa. You would fly into Cedar Rapids, Iowa. That's also a thing. What else can I tell you? We've got the past life class coming up November 6th, 13th, and 30th. 3 classes, 90 minutes each. They're recorded. And the first 10 people get a copy of the book, Changing the FU to Thank You. How to flip the script and see the gift. I forgot the title of my own book. And that's the book's coming out soon. I'm crossing my fingers. Unfortunately, prayers for her and her family. The owner of the publishing company, Transcendent Publications, she's in Florida, and she had to evacuate and everything else. So I'm hopefully talking to her next week. We'll set the pre-launch. It's a couple weeks of pre-launch, book reveal, cover reveal, and then it's pre-order, and then bada bing, bada boom, then it's on sale. It'll be sale on my website. It'll be sale on Amazon. And I got some news that I've been sharing, which I'm shocked, Laura. I'm actually shocked. Let me find it. This book is now in Barnes & Noble.
Wow, good for you.
What? So it's in Barnes & Noble, and I'm super excited about that. The other book, it has a possibility of being in Target, Barnes & Noble, and Amazon. So super, super excited. And yes, thank you, Delora. It's the last retreat of the year. So come join us. Come join us. This is the Spirit Heart Cruise. And then look for Laura and I next year sometime. We'll let you know when. And thank you guys so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Elias. Yeah.
Yes, I bought it through. You did? Wow. That's exciting. Had fun. Thank you. All beautiful evening filled with sweet dreams and big warm soul hug. Thank you. Right back at you. Remember, guys, we are here to connect. And when we connect, we educate. And when we educate, we grow. There is unity in community. From our hearts to yours. Take care, everybody, and have a beautiful night. We'll see you soon.